New to the CMS is the Office Hours module. This module will allow you to post the office hours of the faculty or staff within your department, such as you see here, right within the CMS, and even have it import from Banner. Let me show you how to install it and how to use it within your CMS. To install the Office Hours module, once you are logged into the CMS, you will want to click on the link on the left-hand side that says Manage Modules. From this screen, you will want to click on the button that says New Module. From this drop-down, you will want to find the one that says Office Hours, and then you may give it a title if you want to, but you do not have to. Once you've done this, click on the Submit button. This is what the Office Hours module looks like. You can also find it on the left-hand side if you scroll down, get to the section that says Office Hours, and click on this module right here. There are two different ways in which you can input data into the Office Hours module. The first way is that you may add a new user and add new semesters. This is a manual process that will have to be done for each person and each semester. The other method is to do an import, which will then look at Banner in order to import all of the different classes and schedules. So let's practice the first method, which is by manually adding in each of the users and semesters. So to do this, I'm going to click on the button that says Add New User, and then from this screen I'm going to type in and fill in all this information. Now that I've got that all typed in, there's one last box here that says Office Hour Instructions. What you can do in this box is, if I look back at the example I showed you earlier, for Dr. Robert Adams, you can see at the top we have this little box here that says Office Hours by Appointment. This is an optional field, but if you want to put something there, you would simply fill out this box and click Save. But now that I have all my information filled in, I'm going to click the Save button. So now that we've added in one person into the Office Hours module, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you add in semesters. So if I click on this Semesters button here, you can see that we have no semesters entered right now, but I can click this button to add a new semester, and we can give it a title. So we'll call this Winter, and then you can give it a start date. So we'll say that the winter semester starts on January 9th, and then the end date, we can choose May 31. So now we've added in our first semester. We can add in additional semesters if we want to as well. So now you can see I have two different semesters added into the Office Hours module. So now that we've had the semesters added, let's go back to our Office Hours module. There's the entry that we added previously, and now I'm going to click on the button that says Manage Schedule. From here, I can click on the button that says Add Item, and you can see that we're currently looking at the Winter 2023 semester. I click on the Add New Item button, and now I can add in an entry into the Office Hours. So let's just say, for example, we're going to offer a first class. Okay, now that I've added in all this information, let's cover what we've entered. So we've entered in the title of the class. So for this example, I've put in English 101. The start date is when the class begins. The start time is the time in which it begins, and you will want to signify whether it's AM or PM. End date would be when the class ends, and the end time is when the class is over. So for this class, we're saying it starts on January 9th, it ends on May 31st, and it goes from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Under the days of the week, you simply check the boxes when the class happened. So we're saying this happens Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The semester, you're going to want to choose which semester you want to add the class for. So for this example, we're saying Winter 2023. And then the location, if you want to, you can enter in where this class will be held. Now you can also add a color to the class. This would be helpful if you want to keep all of the classes one particular color, so for example blue, but then say you want to put all of the meetings as a different color. As an example, if we look over here back at Dr. Robert Adams, you can see how he has the classes as one color, the meetings as a different color, and then his office hours as a different color. So this is a very nice feature. The biggest thing to remember is to keep it consistent for your users to see, as in keep the classes all the same colors, the meetings the same color, office hours the same color, etc. The last box within the office hours schedule is this option that says import action. You're able to choose do not delete during import or delete during import. And so if you've already imported the data but you want this to overwrite it, you would say delete. If you have not imported it before, you would say do not delete. So I've never imported this information before. I'm going to say do not delete, and now I'm going to click on save. So now you can see I have my very first entry into the office hours schedule. If I want to preview what this looks like, I can simply click on this button that says view schedule. And now you can see there's my information at the top with the office phone number, the office, etc. And there's the class we just entered. So now that I've added in one entry into the winter 2023 semester, there's my one class. I could, if I wanted to, add in additional classes following the same procedure, and then making sure that under the semester I choose winter 2023. So that is how you would enter in the information manually into the office hours module. The next process is going to be how can you have this information imported automatically from Banner. To do that, from here you're going to want to click on the import button. From this screen you're going to want to follow the prompts. So the first drop down here says office hours semester. If you had not created a semester previously, such as the winter 2023 or summer 2023, you could select create from Banner semester. Since I've already created the semester in the previous step, I'm going to select winter 2023. Now from Banner semester, I'm going to choose which semester that matches with. So I matched it with the winter 2023. For the subject code, this is going to be the first three letters of the classes. So in our previous example, we used English, so I'm going to type in ENG, just like you see there. Then the last step here is what color do you want these classes to be? I'm going to choose blue, and now that we've done that, I'm going to say preview import. So what this has done is this has gone out to Banner and it has found all of the English classes that are being offered, and it's put it into this view that you see. And so if I scroll down, you can see we've got lots of different English options that we can now import. So when I click on this drop down here, I have the option of do I want to delete the current office hours that are already out there? So perhaps if we've manually entered in some, or if you're re-importing the data, you may want to do delete current office hours, or you can say keep current office hours. So for this example, I'm going to say keep current office hours, and now I'm going to click import. So you can see that all of the office hours have been imported into our module. And so let's take, for example, David Alvarez's entry that you see here. If I click on the Manage Schedule button, you will see that his classes are now listed in here. And if I click on the button here that says View Schedule, you will see there are all of the classes that have been automatically added. So a couple things that you're going to want to keep in mind as you're using the Office Hours module. If we take, for example, David Alvarez's schedule, if I click on this View button, this is the current schedule for him. You will see as we load it, it is completely blank. Why is that? If we go back to our module and we click on the semesters, you will see that the winter 2023 semester does not start until January 9. The other thing that you'll want to keep an eye on is if you click on the Manage Schedule next to his name, all of the English classes here do not start until January 9. So the reason that when we click on View next to his schedule and we have nothing showing is because the current classes that we have imported are set to a future date. So for the sake of examples, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import all of the semester information for the fall 2022, which is what it currently is at the time of this recording. So I'm going to select all of that information. I'm going to choose English as the subject code and blue as the color. So now when I say preview import, you can see we've got all of our classes. And now I'm going to say, do I want to delete the current office hours? I do not. I'm going to keep the current office hours. And I'm going to click import. Now, if I click on semesters, you'll see we have the fall 2022, the winter, and the summer for 2023. And if I click on the view button here, you'll see that now for David Alvarez, his fall 2022 semester is now imported into the office hours module. So something to keep in mind is that we've imported all of the class schedules for all of the professors. This data all came from Banner. However, certain information such as office hours or department meetings, that information is not in Banner and will need to be added manually. So to do that, if I go to David Alvarez again and I click on Manage Schedule, we're looking at the fall 22 semester. I'm going to click on Add New Item, and I am going to add in something such as his office hours. Okay, now that you've seen that I've entered in all this information, I will explain what we've done. We've added in the office hours to start on August 29 from 11 a.m. ending on December 31 at 12:30 p.m. This event will happen on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the fall semester in 2022 in Imaginary Place of Mackinac 101. Now the other thing here is that I also changed the color to be yellow as opposed to blue. We've used blue for the class, for all the different classes. I'm going to use yellow to signify that these are his office hours. And then I'm also not going to delete anything during import. So I've done this. I'm now going to click on Save. And now you can see that we've added in this office hours line for his semester in the fall. So if I go back and I click on View, this is his current schedule, and you can see the classes that were automatically imported from Banner are still there, and now the updated office hours, which we've manually entered, is also displaying. The last thing to mention with the office hours module is the view button that you see for each of the faculty. Consider this the live or the current schedule view. And so if I click on the view button, it's going to be whatever semester is active. And so what you can do is, say for example, I wanted to post his schedule on a page. When I click on view and it opens up his schedule, I can take this link at the very top and I can copy it. And then if I go into a CMS site, so for example, this test page that I'm working on, I can go into a paragraph. I can enter in this hyperlink and I can paste that address as the link. So you can see now I have the text. If I highlight that text and I click the hyperlink button, I can now paste that address into the URL. And if I wanted to, I could even make it a button because that always looks nice. Say OK. And now you can see we have David Alvarez schedule. Click on Save Changes. And now that's posted on the page. So let's take a look at how this is going to look when we preview it. And now you can see we have this button here. And if I click on it, it will take me to his current live schedule, which, if we remember, is this button that you see here. So the reason we do that and have this button as what we call the live view is because when you add a link such as this one here, you won't have to go in each semester and adjust the hyperlink for that particular schedule. So long as within the semesters you have the correct start and end date entered, it will automatically adjust the view that you would see on this button to whatever these dates are set within the semesters.